I think perhaps unlike any other pop artist, David Bowie has the power to change lives. As an artist, he's inspired other artists more powerfully than anyone else I can think of. He has to be the most influential artist of all time, without any doubt.
And I see it, I mean, the way I saw Bowie in the 70s was the equivalent of Warhol in the 60s, in that they both ruled the decade. They defined it and they changed it.
I remember seeing that Ziggy Stardust cover and looking at that sort of misty, rain-drenched street, and that photograph was like that's the city, and that was like in a way a new frontier. It was like to actually sort of go to the city as opposed to go to the country, which is like what you're supposed to do in rock and roll.
Britain's power and influence has declined since the beginning of the century. And the question is this a trend we can reverse?
He was coming out of the 60s at a time when all of the idealism of the 60s had soured and died, and a lot of people felt that these were end times, that we were looking at the end of the world. There was the first stirrings of environmental disaster, and there were all kinds of wars going on, and he was reacting to that in a way of, first of all, setting the scene with songs like 5 years, literally saying we've got 5 years left to live, but also saying it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's celebrate the end of the world. Let's party in the ruins. And I think that's what Ziggy Stardust, the album, is all about.
And I would have seen him obviously on Top of the Pops. I mean, this is an era when Top of the Pops was basically all the information you got as a child about popular culture or the outside world. And it gave you an idea of how music could look like. That's what music looked like, but also what it sounded like.
If you remember that at the time that he became famous, homosexuality in Britain hadn't long been legalised. He was portraying what you might call the life of bi in a way that did make it seem tragic or some kind of hidden underground secret, but made it seem like incredible fun. And when you think of things like that, you can see how he must have blown people's minds at the time.
When I did see an image of David Bowie the first time, I was just astonished to see as a sort of otherworldly person, and he's got such an interesting face. I mean, the cheekbones, the teeth, the sort of like the very androgynous style that he had. He wears clothes that's elegant. He knows what suits him. He's incredibly good looking. His eyes are very, very, very extraordinary. It was an enormous influence. I just wanted to be David Bowie from the age of 4.
When I was a teenager, getting low on tape